People ask me what I like most about pigeons, and I've heard that question for I've had that question asked of me for years. And Curtis, what do you like most about pigeons? And I always say that is this part here, coming out in the morning or in the evening and watching my birds do their laps. To me, there's no more enjoyment in pigeons than watching them come around and go around, you know? To me, it's not about racing. It's not about any of that stuff. It's just the enjoyment that they bring to me when they fly. And it's difficult to explain, I guess, unless you've experienced it or you're a pigeon man. But this right here is what I love the most. Birds coming, going, coming around. I'm watching them. I'm having thoughts, and to me, it's so very, very relaxing. It's interesting. Most of all, for me, in my particular scenario, it's very rewarding. I let my birds out this morning, about an hour ago. They went and they ranged, and they came back, and they left again for like 15 minutes, and they're back now, and they're flying, and I love it. There's nothing like it, not for me. And that's why after 20 something years I came back into birds, because it's not about racing, it's not about anything else. And yes, I do have what I think are top of the line birds. I've invested in some very expensive birds, but as we all know, expense doesn't make a winner. And I just wanted to know I have birds that if I chose to compete, would compete, but not only compete, but that would win. So in this beautiful countryside here in Bloomington, Indiana, every morning, whether it's winter, whether it's spring, autumn, fall, or summer, I get to watch my birds fly. And that is my therapy. It's enough therapy to have me come out every day. Here they go. Enough therapy to have me come out every day and clean the loft and fondle with the pigeons, and I have a very busy job, it's my own business, but it keeps me very busy. And when I need some respite, some time away, my birds do it for me. So it's no problem for me to get up on a Sunday morning or a Saturday morning or any morning and take my birds for a fly, or have one of my friends take them if they're going a couple 100 miles, or wherever they're going to, and just wait for my birds to come home. To me, that's beautiful. Next year, 2023, I will be doing some racing, and that's, we'll see how that goes. But that's not why I got back into pigeons. I got back into pigeons just for this right here. That to me is where it's at. That's where it's at right there. Those birds will fly and fly and fly. On a morning like today, it's probably about 11:30 here in Bloomington, Indiana, the 20th of October 2022, and it's slightly overcast, and it's a beautiful day for flying. Not much wind. These birds are pushing it, and they've been flying for like an hour and 15, which is not usually. They would range for a couple of hours, but yeah, my first time back in birds, and I guess as it gets colder, they fly less. If someone cares to explain that to me, maybe it's the wind, the air quality. Maybe it's harder to breathe. I don't know. Somebody can tell me that. I'm not an expert, but yeah, they go. Beautiful right there. Beautiful. And pretty soon I'll be able to see them all the way around, because the trees are going to lose their leaves, and I will just be able to see them as they go. Perhaps except for those pine trees right over there, they don't really lose their leaves. But all the other trees would have lost their leaves, and I would be able to see them very well. Anyway, I just wanted to do this video to show you what I love most about birds, because to me there's like nothing like it. Nothing. Birds going around and around, flying free, kind of knowing that they're yours. You know, most people who are not into pigeons, they're fascinated by how birds can go fly, you know, and go wherever they want to. I went downtown one day, about 8 miles from here, and I was downtown. I left my birds flying, and I knew I could beat them back, and I did. But guess what? About 6 miles down the road, there they were, going over the highway, over my car. I'm like, those are my birds, you know? It's amazing. It's amazing what they do and how they do it. And I just love it, and I'm never going to stop, because it's a beautiful thing to watch and to see. And it's a beautiful thing. And I've also, one more thing I want to mention is that I've noticed that a lot of people that come to my home, they're so, what's the word? Intrigued. They're so intrigued by how this whole process happens, you know. Curtis, is that where the birds go in? How do they come back? You know, how do they get out? How, you know, how do they know where to come to? You know, and I just know some of these people, had they been exposed to pigeons before, they probably would have had birds, you know, because they're so intrigued. But I think in the pigeon sport, we don't really introduce the sport enough to people of all different ages. I have my neighbor, he's in his 30s, he's interested in flying birds simply because he loves what he sees, you know. So that's a good thing, you know what I mean? That's a good thing. And if we would all kind of introduce people more to pigeons, I think what would happen is that we would have more local clubs, you know. And when we have more local clubs, we have more people in the sport, and the sport would begin to breathe again, once again. Right now it's not really breathing, and we have a lot of people that are winning the sport, you know, consistently, and many people that don't win even though they've been in pigeons for a long time. And that's because all of the winning stock is probably too expensive for small people to you know, to afford. And so even though they're entering big OLR races, they never win anything. So I think if we introduce more people to the sport, you know, the sport will spread out a little bit, and it will sort of even out, you know. It's sort of like one person in a town that is very rich, and he's the one that can get all the loans from the banks because he's very rich. So he's the one that's going to stay rich, you know. But if more people got into the sport and the banks start seeing, you know, the community growing, they would probably offer assistance of a few more people and start that process. Let the birds go. Anyway, I don't want to get into banking here. I'm just saying we just need to introduce more people to the sport. Let me know what you think. My birds are flying, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Here they come. There you go. Over the trees. Not anytime soon would they be landing. I will talk to you soon, okay? Thanks for watching. This is Curtis at Air Champ Loves. You know, let's talk pigeons sometime, okay? Alright, bye-bye.